So we're up in Brookings this past weekend, and first time we've been to that meet since I've been here, and it was really good competition. We had schools from North Dakota, South Dakota, the Summit League schools that compete against each other quite a bit up there, and so kind of a Missouri Valley Conference type field. Those teams would stack up very well in the Valley, and so for our athletes to get next to some of those kids that compete very well on that level was good, and so we had some really good things happen in the throws. Keegan Treidel had a big personal best, as did Billy Blaser, and so those guys are kind of moved into scoring position there. On the long sprints, had a good day as long as middle distance on the men's side. Evan Long and JoJo Frost, they're now sitting top 5 in the 400 there, and Jordan Pingle ran the fastest time in the 800 so far this season. It's really early, and so it's just trying to figure out where everyone stacks up. It's a little bit different year with Wichita State being out, so we're just trying to figure out how that void is going to be filled with other schools that are here with Valparaiso win, and then just how kind of some of the other Valley schools are going to slide around in those rankings. But what we look for now is just kind of consistency. Now we've got a couple meets under our belt, and so now it's time to really focus in and get consistent with our performances and making sure that our effort is at a championship level every single week. And so the women did a really good job as well. Brett Corey in the mile ran the second fastest time in school history, puts her number 2 in the Valley. Hannah Triniger in the 3,000 now sits top 3, and there with her best opener she's ever had, the 3,000. Freshman Michaela Cole had a really good race in the 3K as well. And then the pole vault, Lauren Beauchamp, I know I talked about her last week. She had another personal best this weekend, and so it's fun because you see a lot of these young kids starting to step up and get to see what they can do on a consistent basis. And so those first couple of meets when you have freshmen, it's always interesting to see how they're going to react to the different level of competition, not in high school anymore. And so overall, the team, we're a much better team than we were a week ago. And so that's kind of what we want to focus on, is getting better every single week. And that definitely happened this week. We just have to now get consistent as we head down the stretch here of a big home meet this weekend with some good teams coming in on Saturday for the invites. Drake, South Dakota State's coming here. Indiana State will be here. Wisconsin, Milwaukee, and so that's a good field. Six quality teams in there, and Loyola's coming over from Chicago as well. So a little Valley flair with some other schools should be really exciting. We have a multi-event that starts Thursday with the Jack Jennett meet, and so that'll be Thursday, Friday. That's an open competition, so we'll see some smaller colleges from the state of Iowa coming into that one, and just an exciting week to be at home, sleeping on our own beds, and get a chance to compete at our home track. Any questions regarding track?
How much of a benefit is it to have so many events, especially early in the semester, just right there in the UNI?
It's really nice, and so it just the thing with indoor tracks is that everyone's significantly different. And so we went up to South Dakota State; they have a 300-meter track. Iowa State, we'll go there here in a couple weeks. That has a 300-meter track. So there's just differing facilities, and so for us to have a competition in our home facility where we have the conference meet, the 200-meter track runs much differently as far as the curves and all that stuff go, especially with the sprint events, the 400 and the 200. You have to know how to handle those tighter turns than when you're on a bigger track or a bank track, and so having a home competition is great for us because that's where the pinnacle of our season goes, to the conference meet. So for us to have opportunities to compete in our home facility against some quality teams makes it a big advantage for us.
Is it too early to get a feel for who's strong in the league in indoor track?
No, you kind of know, just kind of looking at how the results are starting to come in. You just can't hang your hat on all that all the time, because things will definitely shift. Some guys and girls haven't even run or participated in their primary event, and so a lot of kids are doing some off events, and so you might see the 800 people jumping up to the mile or down to the 400, and so, but you kind of can take a guess. The teams that have always been good in the Valley are just as good as they've ever been, and so Southern Illinois, Indiana State, and Illinois State, and us are all very strong contenders there with kind of the top 4 teams in there, and that's kind of how it's looking right now as the early season results have poured in. But we'll get a much better feel here once we hit this weekend and next and the weekend after that. Indoor season is here and gone before you know it. I mean, we're already into week 3 this week, and the conference meet is only a month away, and so it'll be here. So now, like I said, you just got to work on getting improved every single day, every single week, and kind of see where we're at here in a couple weeks.